Hello and welcome back to the channel. So look, today is going to be another video about your comments in regards to the last video I posted, which is right here. Now, a few things that I want to point out when it comes to the comments videos. It's a great way for me to be more interactive with what you have to say. And I've said it many times that I read all the comments, but sometimes it's difficult to prove to people that you're not aloof when you seem aloof, right? Perception is everything. Stick to the end of the video here. Just have something very silly to just point out. But, without further ado, let's get into it. But first, if you're new here, I'm Alistair Nzekio. This is a channel where I talk about mostly commentaries in regards to criminals, but I do have other topics in my mind that I do talk in my members' videos. So, before we start, consider dropping me a like, subscribe if you haven't done so, and if you wanted to do more, like join the membership program, pick the offer that fits you best, and I do try my best to give you something more in the members video. It is quite a difficult job, so regardless, thank you so much. And with that being said, let's have a good time, and let's look at your comments. Poster the clown, ha poster. Too much to say. Do I do a fantasy rant? Yes, the accident you can't look away from. I know. Do I address your let's talk? It's such an invite to break my rule of brevity. But here are some random thoughts. Poster! It's so silly. I love it. He's not silly. I love to wake up in a Star Trek world, but I can't see that day happening when no one has to watch their back just for being, it's longer than that. Just for being who they are. I'm always conflicted when looking for the balance of responsible personal freedom with social obligation. To emphasize the importance, some of these obligations are called morals, and there is always a question of when morality stops being a guideline and starts being oppression. Yeah, let me just quick pause there on Postal the Clown. And you listen, Postal the Clown, to anybody who doesn't know Postal the Clown, he's very smart and he's very good with the writing, right? But he brings stuff that very thought provocative. And I know it's not what everybody believes and thinks. I get it. But I think the beauty of us being humans to have differences of opinions and be able to express it without having to be lynched for it, right? And so he's referring to the comments I was talking about in the video about how, listen, in life, everybody makes mistakes, and there's a reason why people do what they do. There's a reason why Sarah Boone killed him. There's a reason why Derek Brooke took the car and ran through the crowd. There's a reason for all these monsters, but it is never an excuse. And when you make an excuse for a bad behavior, it means you're not understanding something fundamental. And actually, that leaves you open for abuse, right? Because that means you are more likely to justify being abused because you see and you have the habituality, you have the habitude. Oh my God, English. You have the, I know the English word, I just can't pronounce it. Habituality. You have the habit of making excuses for bad behavior. It leaves you exposed for narcissism, for narcissists to really come into your life and F it up. And so that's why he's responding to, which, we're on the same page on that, Mark. But like Sarah, there are groups who have their own skewed idea of responsibility and obligation. Yes, those groups who are willing to give all of their cause. One thing I know for sure, got it. Any being, invisible or not, who demands worship is not worthy of it. Yeah. And the Rainfields who claim to speak for that being and threatens your life and livelihood for not worshiping that being need to be retrained. Yeah. I could tell stories of individual instances that have nothing to do with religion, sex, gender, or race that illustrate how effed up humans are just on power alone. Unions and HOAs are easy example. Oh yeah, the reasons they were created are the same reason that make them flawed. If I had the answer, this would be much shorter reply. So in the meantime, we need to preserve the freedom to look for those answers. I agree with you 100%. First of all, HOA, what a mess, right? Unions also have their issues, and this goes back to okay, I'm gonna try to the reason why I'm blocked is because I'm trying to tell this sentence without divulging too much about my life. So let me try again. This goes back to the conversation I had with my mom. I don't think I can say it without divulging what I don't want to say. So I'm just gonna leave it as that. I won't even edit it. Sorry about that. Mark, thank you for your comment. I love. Don't be refrained for commenting like Mark does, like Poster Decline does, because the thing is that I want to know more about the deepest intricacy of your mind, and don't be shy. Vomit, share it, divulge, so we can all have the conversation. Do you know what I mean? Don't be shy. All right. At politically incorrect 5802, your name already is giving me life. Ouh là 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 là, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Que j'adore cette présentation ici. Excuse me for my terrible French, I'm rusty, great analysis. By the way, I wish you watch SKR video. I don't know who SKR. So SKR video analysis of SB. Sarah Boone, you have a lot in common, and I know you would appreciate a sarcastic observation from the professor, just like I and many others do. Oh, thank you. Okay, so yes, I would check this person out. I don't know. I don't know who that person is. You know, my YouTube world is actually quite small. I know very few YouTubers. Beefy is one of them because I have a close relationship with him. And then I know J Naive from the Dara Book situation, but I don't know that much for the simple reason is that being a content creator is already too much time. And so extra time I don't have to explore, although I wish I did. But, you know, I have to make you guys priority, right? Anyway, so Lori Talbot, DU2QD. Why didn't any of these neighbors never testify in court if they were threatened? Why didn't they report any of it? Yeah, you make a very good point. You know, Sarah Boone does mention how she was beaten and pummeled to pulp by George. She even said at one point, it was like either it's like a Freudian slip. Like, I'm going to end up like George, you know? It's almost like, again, like this is a premeditation. I totally believe she wanted to kill him, and she went for it. You know, it was a Freudian slip. I didn't point it out but I looked over my notes and I did write it down. I just didn't speak about it. Yeah, Freudian slip. Gotcha, Sarah. Gotcha. Okay. Then the Cool Braider. Hi, the Cool Braider. Okay, how did he destroy traditions? Very good point. How? This just shows she goes with anything that sounds bad, even when it sounds incredibly stupid. Yeah. A lot of the time when I was watching this, right, my brain was like, I'm a sensible man, right? And if it doesn't make sense, my brain usually tells me, BS, run away, get away. And in very weird situation when things don't make sense and it makes sense, if that makes any sense, pun intended. But 90% of the time, if it doesn't make sense, it's usually, it's a bunch of baloney. And then, yeah, she sounded incredibly stooped. And, but yeah. At Little Piece Toe, 2620, keep it together, Alistair. Never mind. I think most of us had the same reaction to Sarah's audacity. Yeah, I was all like, no, she didn't. And myself said, oh, yes, she did. Me, myself, and I have had way too many conversations about this woman. Watching you react to the highlight of this entire mess. Side note, have you heard about Doro's move to a new prison? Rumor has it that he's not having a good time. Okay, no. Let me just write this down from my brain. So, first of all, yeah, my computer's a mess. Yeah, thank you. Yes, complete mess. I was watching this, literally pulling my eyelashes out. I was going to say hair, but no, there's no fun in that. Pulling my eyelashes out. Yeah. Anyway, so Lori Talbot, DU2Q, said, I'm Canadian. I was just on a case a couple years ago. We were paid $100 a day plus meals. The American system seems wholly inadequate. Whoa. First of all, you talk about the jury duty situation? Yeah. My pen's not working. Okay, bravo. Yeah, the $100 a day. Yeah, you know, and this pen's not working too? Ah, quand même. Okay, it's working now. So, yeah, the jury duty situation is just awful. First of all, it's a huge inconvenience. You know, my whole life has to put on pause just so I can be stuck in a room and stare at the ceiling and look at a criminal and deal with nonsense. Yeah. And even, look, you know, $100 a day, that's not someone's salary. That's not someone's wage, right? So it's like, even if you give me $200 a day, that's too little. right? To make up for, anyway, not when we're paying $300,000. $300,000 or close to $400,000 on this one person. And that's not including we have to feed them, house them, keep them warm, entertain them, give them a yard, a sunlight, a shower, phone calls, commissary. I mean, come on. Come on. Like, I'm not saying that we need to be animals, but can we keep it to the bare minimum of human rights? Like, seriously. Anyway. So, Political Incorrect says, watch how pleased she was when she was informed his mother had to leave after watching the video of her son begging for his life inside the suitcase. Sarah's a monster. You know what? Yes, so there's a few things that I need to continue to watch about the videos, right? Because that's why I said part one. There's more to this, right? And I'm trying to pump them out as fast as I can. I know some people might be like, I'm so tired of Sarah Boone. I haven't watched any of this. So I would do myself, because I've been so invested in her, I would do myself a disservice if I just didn't catch up. And I'm playing catch up. I really am. So I know for a lot of you, like, this is old news and you've seen this before. Just bear with me. And even as I'm talking during the stuff, I try to make it fast, right? Because even before I watch the video, the way I curate the operating flow is I have an idea of what I'm going to talk about in specific order. I have a grand operating flow for the subject, and then a small operating flow for the day I'm recording. And a lot of times is I have the other video lineup, but I don't watch. So it's based on the title that I want to curate. And then right before I press play, I take the cursor and I screen through to get an idea of a little bit of what's happening in there, and then I press play. And sometimes I have no idea. Sometimes it's like 8 hours long. And I go, oh, wait a minute, I gotta curate as I go, right? So these are very rare, but I have a grosso modo idea before going in, but I don't have none of the details. So I'm discovering really this for the very first time. Thank you for sticking around, really, and just entertaining the fact that I'm watching this again for the very first time. We're friends. Veronica Lopez 4525. Thank you so much for this video. Your reaction goes exactly where no one else covering this trial is willing to go. How interesting. You are absolutely right. The beast doesn't care one bit about the man she claimed to love while disparaging him. Contempt, avarice, and disdain is what this woman is made of. Avarice. Yes, I agree. I appreciate your frank and honest review. They're fantastic. And it's fantastic, and I'm here for it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sometimes I get really scared when I open myself up like that in mind, in body and thought, no, in mind, in mind. I'm such a loser. Anyway, Luis Castillo 3551. Ezekiel, I don't know where you got the $5 idea. The last time I had jury duty, the first day was morning, only $20. Oh, okay. The following Monday, we will call back all day, $60. And that's for not getting picked. All right. So I didn't know that. So I guess, does it depend by state? I don't know that much then about jury duty, because I know here where I live, we would pay $5 for the day. And then, a pizza for lunch. And I was like, I don't eat pizza. No, I eat pizza, but I was like, excuse me. What if I have like a lactose intolerance? Like thanks for the pizza. And I like the gesture, but maybe instead of $5, give me $60 so I can go get my own lunch. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems because even listen, from $5 to $60, it's a big difference. So yeah, it's a huge increase, over 200%. But it's still not enough, because you got to pay $80 for not being chosen. It's still not enough. That's 2 days worth. Do you know how much you're worth in 2 days? Over $300. What? Yeah, think about that. Think how much money you make a month. Divide that by 32. 32. I'm sorry, but 30. 32. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. 32. Yeah, like this 353 days a year. I can't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be an idiot. But, I agree with you. Yeah. But I still think jurors need to be paid more, because we still have to go to work and live and pay and bills to pay. And we're doing everything for these criminals. Do more for me. Like free healthcare. And Rosie Grace 1121. She said, "I love your energy. Thank you, and the way you speak of your daughter. Live forever." Yeah, thanks. I am pretty obsessed. I told you. I said it many times ago that, and I don't know. Every parent is different, but from my scenario, I think parent to child love. It's not love. I think we use the word love because we don't know what other word to use, or we feel uncomfortable saying the obvious. It's obsession. I mean, I don't know any parent, at least in my circle, where your eyeballs don't wake up and you go, what is my kid going to eat? What's for lunch for my kid? Like your kid is always in your head, even when we go through, even with tax season. How's Olympia affected by this? Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's obsessive. And then because we all going to die one day. And then sometimes you think like, oh my God, what's going to happen when I'm not here? To the obsession carries over to the point where you're dead. You know what I mean? So that's not love, because I don't think about Chris like that. I mean, I love him and all, but when I'm at work, I'm not thinking about him like that. But I do think about my girl, even when I'm at work, even when I'm working out. It's wild. And I don't know if it's because it's me, But hi, Olympia, hi. Look at her mouth. And her nose. Oh my God. She's so ridiculously cute. Look at that. Oh, and the attitude. Don't be fooled. Sorry. Oh, Damp. Hi, Damp. DANP 3511. The only part of the incoherent rambling diatribe. Love that word. That makes any sense is the final 3 words: protect the abuse. We collectively did just that, Sarah, by sentencing you to life behind bar. The word is protected from your abuse and protect those who you would have futuristically abused. Yes, this is what I love about justice. And this is where I think I have a hard time believing in second chances for people who kill people. Listen, I'm not supposed to agree on everything, right? That's just my opinion. I feel like if you cross that line and kill someone, like not for self-defense, for the other stuff, I mean, that means you have the ability to cross that line. Nobody is safe. That's just my opinion. Just like sex offenders with children, or even like sex offender in general. Forget kids. I don't care if you're reformed. You've done it before. That means you have the mental capacity to do it again. Danger. Great, you're none. I mean, none. You're great, you're a priest. Oh, God, priest. Okay, great, you're a monk. Right? Good for you. Proud of you. But you're not invited to dinner still. No. So this is just my old school mentality. I just have a hard time, darling. Sherry Vo J Tisek 8198. Oh my God, cook me up. Love your channel. Thank you. David Edwards 1705. Speaking as a survivor. Yes, you, Sarah Boone, you do not speak for us. David. Yeah. Listen, domestic violence happens to men too, right? People don't talk about that. It happens. Nice to hear from you, Davida. Rosie Doze. I love how Sarah plagiarized the first paragraph of her speech. She did? Oh. You see, this is why you guys are amazing. I had no idea. Yeah, she plagiarized it. I'm also glad that the Torres family left the courtroom as soon as she started reading from her diatribe. See? I didn't know the whole family left. You're 100 disease living in my body. You're 100 spot on about your views on religion. Yeah, didn't have a good experience about it. I'm thrilled you exist. Oh, thank you as you are, and your light is being shared. What am I doing? Scratching my stomach. Sorry, I'm not doing the inappropriate. This case, everything Sarah said is nonsense. The most disgusting part is that she went after his daughters. Those girls were young teenagers when she murdered George. What were they supposed to do, let alone know? She is vile. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is very powerful. What were they supposed to do, let alone know? Yeah. Oh, my God, you make such a good point. Look at me, my brain rambling on and ranting, because you're right. And that's probably what I'm obsessive about my kid is like, I'm afraid of dying right now because she needs me. She needs me over there. So I think the only time I'm able to allow myself to just go is when she's 50. Until then, I can't. Like everything I see is like a danger. I'm like, oh, 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 you know. I drive the speed limit. Yes, obsession. I'm telling you, it's not love, it's obsession, and I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's me and my condition, right? But yeah, that stuff crosses my mind. It does. I just don't. If you only get in my mind, you'll be scared to see it all. And then you're right. Spun about view. Thank you for saying I exist. You know, and that I'm a light to be shared. Thank you so much. You know, it took a while to accept that. I don't know why I'm so itchy. I have no idea. It took a while to accept that, by the way, because, and this is what I say to kids who have, who find themselves on the mental spectrum, if you know what I mean, because it's a superpower. It's not a liability. It's a superpower. You view life differently, and I always say learn to live with it and harness it for your benefits. And I think that's the reason why my condition has really helped me navigate the trauma. You know, I'm able to compartmentalize, like process, compartmentalize, and move on, right? Because what I've been through, if it was stuck in my forehead, I don't know. I don't think I would have made it, right? I don't think I would have made it. But thank you for saying that. Yeah, it took a little while to realize that as a grown up, you know, like in my 30s, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I am really making a difference to my family and friends and circles. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, Helen. First of all, Helen, I don't even have to read your name. Helen someone 6167. No. You've already imprinted in my brain. And so when I see your picture, oh, my heart just jumps because I know it's going to be good. Watch this, watch this. God don't work pro bono either, Sarah. Because I said nobody wants for free. And she's clever. Do you see that cleverness? Guys, do you see that cleverness? She's like, neither does God. You didn't pray enough, Sarah. I can't. Do you see what I mean? No, unmatched. I don't care what you say. My audience is unmatched in terms of what? Wits, like intellect, unmatched. Unmatched. If only this was a different world, we'll have a big party, hang out together. Yeah, I'm scared now. I'm scared. I'm scared. First of all, I'm on the strict orders, all right? I'm strict orders. So I was told, because I'm the one with the biggest mouth in my family on both sides, mine and Christopher's, and they're like, Alistair, shut the F up. I said, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so 6:35, justice for George, finally. Yeah. 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 Justice for George, finally. Oh, George, I remember. Oh, wrong side. I know my shit. Oh, hi, Daddy Bailiff. I didn't realize how close. Wow, they're very close. Ooh, I feel like he's looking at me. Don't look at me. Wow. And then I didn't realize actually those suitcases are quite big. It looks small up here, but wow, they're actually quite big. But I didn't fit it. I couldn't fit in it. And I got the black one is made of plastic. I'm sorry, metal. The one over there on the blue one, sorry, is made of the same mesh as the actual suitcase. What time is it? 28. Hurry up, Alistair. Okay. Since sliced bread. I love your names. I really find your insight illuminating. Thank you so much. Illuminating. Lights, camera, action. Perfect. And then we have Liz Larson 1653. Sarah met George at the local bar. Oh, when she went to drink because she didn't like staying home taking care of her baby, and would skip out when Brian got home. She started her affair with George long before Brian finally divorced her. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know why I got the idea that it was a friend who set them up. So you mean to tell me that, so she's a stay-at-home mom, and as soon as Brian comes home, she goes to the bar and drinks all night? And then she comes home to watch the kid like hangover. I can't. This is not even like conducive for the health of the child. You see, this is why. This is why. That's wild. That would be unacceptable. Like if I was, first of all, if I was any other friend of Sarah Boone and at the bar, I'd be like, "What are you doing here again? Don't you have kids?" I'm that friend. Not in the judgmental way as you might think, but I would definitely question you and be like, "What are you doing here again? Don't you have a baby to take care of? Like, what's going on? What's happening? What are you doing here again?" It's me. I'm the one. That's why I don't have narcissists around me. I ask too many questions, and I ask like poignant questions, like, "Oh, really? That's not what you said yesterday. Prove it. Show me. Can I see it?" I'm that friend. Annoying. and obnoxious. One of my very good friends in college, to give you an idea, and you know what? I think partially it's my condition. And I remember, it was freshman year in college, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make new friends, and I got my food tray, and at the time at school, please, it's an old time, the people hung out in cliques, and I didn't have a clique, and I didn't care for a clique, and I was like, you know what, today I'm gonna sit to someone I know, random. And I picked this girl sitting on the desk, and not because she's a girl, I also sat with guys, right? And I sat down, and she was like, and I go, "Can I sit here?" She goes, "Yeah." And I sit down, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And she was mortified the fact that I was so comfortable coming in and just chatting. And then we're very good friends today. But looking back, she was like, "Alistair, I thought you were so obnoxious. It was in the morning. I just wanted to have a peaceful breakfast. But I'm so glad you came and sat down because we are such good friends now today." But yeah, I'm that friend. Christy B. My God, what's going on? Christy, hi, hi. As much as I wanted to hear Judge Kranek really tell Sarah what he really thought, and I feel he did exactly right by simply stating, "Life, yeah." Oh, Christy is so nice. Then DANP3511 replied, "Silence can be powerful. He took a cue from her mama Torres. Sarah is irrelevant." Yes, and he amplified that reality by giving her only a single word for the rest of her life. If you look at Sarah's text messages, she thrives in back and forth arguing, and she was expecting the same back from the judge to give her content for the next rambling. There's nothing to say now. No one's listening, and no one cares. Get thee behind bars. Sarah. Bitch! Listen. Very well written. And then look, Post of the Clown. I didn't even read, but look, I can tell Post of the Clown's gonna be good. Look. Yes. And that reinforced his class act image. Yeah. Better man than me though. Oh, judge. I mean, I'm the judge. With all the power of judging in the world, you know I'm gonna send you home with a comment. "Well, Sarah, it looks like time has come to go to jail." Like I would have said something stupid. Well, that's why I'm not a judge. Christy, so nice to see you. I have been anxiously waiting for your reaction to Sarah's forgiveness speech. Oh, love, thank you. Hi, Christy, thanks. Bleu stocking, at bleu stocking, bleu stocking. Is that a phone? Is it a suitcase? It's a suitcase emoji. You guys are so ridiculous. I love it. She's like, "Hi," with a suitcase. I love it. I really love that you're doing this series, but when most others have moved on, Samsonite Sarah. This story is truly a modern day tale of tragedy that deserve attention in hopes of others learning from it. Of course, your commentary and witty remarks are early delightful, bringing much needed levity. You must be English. Not English or very well read. So well written. I love your logo. Blue stocking, blue. The outline of your logo is blue. Oh, girl, you better work. I love the hat. Yeah, it brings the whole delightful sunshine and levity spirit. Love it all. Look at all this well thought stuff. And then money, money Kuizinka. Money Kuinzinga. 3474. Yes, that baby is yours. Oh my God. Oh, that's a good heart. Yeah, you better work, Alistair. Oh, that's such a good. Oh, with my lips in it. No, look. Look. Listen. Yeah, but yeah, it's fascinating. So there's a new word. There's a new word that she picked up today. So in the morning, I've been sleeping late lately. I don't know why. I'm just feeling very tired. But I've been sleeping late lately, and she is so she has sometimes she's a kid, right? So sometimes she has tantrum in the morning, and Christopher using the technique of like, shh, Papa's sleeping, and my baby tries her best to control herself, right? I mean, I'm awake. Look, that's what I mean. As a parent, you deep sleep, but you're not really deep sleeping. It's just a nightmare. Sleep is forget it. Sleep is not yours. You'll never get it back. Forget it. Surrender. But the idea that she like consciously be like, oh, okay, Papa is sleeping. Sometimes I'm like, Christopher, just let her be a kid. Just leave her alone. Let her scream and shout. But I need to be careful because I'm a giver. If you if you're in my circle, I give everything. I say no to all events and stuff, but in terms of giving, I give, and you can't do that to a kid. You need to have like. It's so hard to be disciplinarian. I'm not a disciplinarian, but I have to be. It breaks my heart when I have to be a disciplinarian. Anyway, so the new two words now that she got is you ready? You ready? Mm-hmm. Can't. I can't. I can't. Mm-hmm. 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 Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And I have to be like, no, 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 no. No. We. Like, I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. We. Like, speak. Oh, God. Like, I wash myself every second of the day. I can't believe I have to be careful now about like all my situation until she's like 12. Oh my God. It's really, really like, but it's so cute and comical and funny. And then, and then the other one. Okay, are you ready for this one? You ready for this? Do you understand? She says that. I can't. I can't. Because I say that a lot to Christopher when I have my rant. Like, do you understand? She's like, do you understand? All right, let me just gather my thoughts here. Because we're done with the comments. Let me just say, like, subscribe, yes. And then we're going to go to my Let's Talk for the comment video. And then, et puis voilà, quoi. Et puis voilà. I'm going to divulge something. There was a technical difficulty last week. And so this video that we just see about Sarah Boone sentencing and whatnot, this was supposed to be out on Wednesday. And then the comment video, I was supposed to do it on Friday. But technical difficulty, because I didn't realize there was a technical difficulty until Sunday. So what happened was, because on Sunday, I went here in the office and I wanted to record a comment video because I hadn't had a chance to actually go onto YouTube pretty much the whole week. These are pre-recorded content, right? And so as I go downstairs in the office to record, the comment video, I go on the thing to put out your comment. I go, wait a minute, there's no comments? And I realized like, oh my God, it hasn't posted. It's still on private. And look, it's not the YouTube fault, it's my fault. I must have been really tired. I must have forgot to schedule that one. And so it was stuck on on private. And I was like, oh my God, all right, fine. And then I released it on Sunday. And then on Friday, the reason why, because the goal is to have one video during the week between Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So, and then on Friday is to have the comment video. And in terms of the time, don't ask question. It's going to come up when it come up because I'm still testing out the best time to post based on what I read, right? But on last Friday, the comment video was supposed to happen, but I didn't do it because I had to go be... Funny story. So this is where we get into the Let's Talk. So I'll talk to you a little bit longer, so I apologize. So last Friday, what we did for the weekend is as such. So Christopher went, Olympia school, she goes, Olympia school, the official French school starts in September. And, to make her transition easier, we, through the orientation process and all that stuff, we befriended, well, the girls connected. So Olympia and two other girls kind of bonded together during the orientations. And the parents naturally kind of like, oh, hi, 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 hi. And then we were like, we should spend more time. Our girls should spend more time. Our girls should spend more time together. So when school starts, it's not overwhelming. So they can just kind of, oh, hi, hi, hang out together while they figure out school. Because this is the beginning of their school career, right? This is not daycare. It's school, 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 school. And so in the process of that, we've been hanging out a lot. And they are amazing couple. Of course, foreigners, but it's the French school, right? But amazing couple, and so that Friday, Christopher went with the wives. He went with the wives to dinner and movie, and they saw Wicked, right? But they spent the whole night together. I was like, excuse me, you're a parent, right? Like just like with Sarah Boone, I'd be like, you can't just leave you alone here with being a single parent. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing. It was just a jest, but and I went and hung out with the boys, and I know some people might be like, oh, Christopher hang out with the girls and I hang out with the boys. No, it's not like that, and like in a gay relationship with two boys, it's like, it is what it is, right? There's no, like, the boys, the girls, it's not like that. And they don't even think like that. But my whole thing was like, because, I smoke cigars. I do. I love cigars. Are you kidding? And, ever since having the kid, as a responsible parent, we cannot both be non-present. So if one of us is going to go unpresent, the other one has to be sober enough because we need brain cells to make sure no disaster happens. So I haven't really had the chance to let loose, right? And so when I went with the boys, we went to smoke cigars. And, I told them, so we met at one of the houses of one of the fathers. And so he got to drink and get all, poop face because he's home. But, I went there and I said to them, I said, look, boys, I'm only smoking one cigar. And then I'm not drinking. I'm not, because I have to be present for my kid. I have to make sure nothing happens to my kid and I have to drive home. Right. And I said, I'm going to leave by Olympia's bedtime. So 7:30, we're going to give the girls a shower. I have to be in the car by like 7:40. Right. So that by 8 p.m. when I get home, she goes to bed. So I arrived at like 5. So it was a good hangout time. And we spent such a good time together, us, the boys. And we talked about, oh my God, I can tell you what we talked about. We talked about women in a polite way, but I'll tell you more about that. Hold on a second. We talked about women. We talked about our jobs. We talked about our citizenship, right? Like, how'd you get your papers? How'd you get your papers? It's a very expat thing to do. That's what we do, expats. That's what foreigners do, right? Because anyway, we talked about politics. Yeah, we did. Please, we are foreigners. We're legal immigrants, right? So we talk about that. We talked about the future for our girls, right? And we didn't talk about sports. I'm really happy that none of them are into sports like that, thank God. Nothing more worse than talking about, football. But I'm glad that these heteros don't talk about sports. We talked about traveling. We talked about, oh, right, because they are ravers. Like because we're about the same age, and around that time, around like people of my generation, especially in Europe, that was a thing to do, to go rave and party. We didn't have any of that, like polite rave, like that was a thing back in the day, right? So we're from that same era, and we talked about how, like, oh man, we miss it. We talk about how they are into horses. So it's something that I've discovered that I didn't realize how much I love horses. Horses are beautiful. Horses are gorgeous, especially when they run. I was looking like, wow, look at all that muscle and all that running and galloping. Scary though. They're really tall, scary. I don't think I could ride a horse. I mean, I ridden one before, but I guess the horses that I saw were just like ginormous. I was like, get away from me. I was like, I don't want to die. Yeah, we talk about horses. So we talk about like Kentucky Derby. So we want to do the Derby. There's a few derbies we want to do. We want to go to a rave. I know we're parents, but come on. So we were talking about how we're gonna get the girls watch. We're gonna get our parents to come and watch, our parents to come to watch the girls while we go out raving. Where we don't know. We were smoking the cigars, talking about girls, women. It was such an interesting like chatter. But you know what where the conversation about talking about the girls, the women, we now I started the topic because I I wanted to share with them that, and let me just preface by saying this, that I'm a feminist at heart and I am all about women power. Sorry. Sorry, heteros, but I'm not negating the fact that, heteros are also important. That's a whole different story. I don't want to take too much of your time because we did talk about also the hetero male side of things. But on the women's side, I was saying that it's something that I've discovered that I didn't realize really was a thing. And I discovered it from seeing interaction between my brothers-in-law and their wives. So within my own family, and seeing my sister and her husband, there's a lot of you have to navigate. There's a lot of dance just to communicate with their significant other in a hetero world. This is my opinion, my observation. And for example, I can feel the screams coming at me. No, listen to me 1 second. Listen to me. Don't scream yet. Let me finish my thought, but don't scream. But you have to think, you have to be mindful of, you know, when can I say this? How do I say this? Because is it PMS time? I know it sounds terrible. PMS is real, but hold on 1 second. All right. So there's a lot of navigation just to get to the same point. And also on the women's side, right? Because the women have to navigate as well, not to emasculate, right? Like, how do I say this so he doesn't feel less of a man? Or his ego is not bruised? There's a lot of movement on both sides just to get to the same point. Because you're trying to skip on the mines, like skip on the mines so you don't accidentally activate one on both sides. And it's not like that with at least me and Chris. And I don't think in a gay world, men to men, I don't think we struggle with that. If I have a problem with you, I say, I have a problem. Let's sit down and talk, right? There's no navigation. It's just, right? And so I saw this dance between a lot in my in-laws, so my brother-in-law, my brother-in-laws, their wives, my sister, her husband. Like, there's a lot of navigation. Like, okay, I can't say this now because this and this. Okay, well, I'm not saying being disrespectful, but there's a lot of thought process. Like, I have a headache just explaining this to you, but I was saying to the men, I was like, it's something that I didn't realize that we don't have to do that. At least me and Chris, but we just vomit our feelings and vomit our emotions. And it could be also, and that's when we went into the male aspect. Could be because boys were never really taught to be emotional, and being told that being emotional is like being vulnerable, so you can't be, right? So then we went to a whole different conversation about that. But it was fun. Please don't throw tomatoes. I love women. Not like that, sorry. I love men like that. Thank you for your here. Look, it's 1 hour. What a mess. 1 hour. This was supposed to be 30 minutes. I keep going over my recording time, and look at me here trying to justify this mess. Thank you so much. I have to go up there and edit this. Maybe I'll have that to you by Monday. As in today. And also, the content is pre-recorded, right? So maybe my beard a bit different, right? I'm trying to confuse you a little bit. Timeline. Goodbye. I'm such an idiot.